Hey everyone, how's it going? Thanks so much for tuning in. For today's video, we've traveled out to Texas to get an in-depth look at the all-new 2018 Volkswagen Atlas. In this review, I'm going to cover 5 main topics, including styling, performance fuel economy, interior space, pricing, and a general features overview. Of course, I'll take it on a thorough drive and show you many of the unique aspects throughout the interior as well as exterior. When traveling to all these different press events, it's always exciting to see who you're going to run into. I actually had the fortune of hanging out with Sofyan again from Redline Reviews. If you've never checked out his channel before, I put the link to it and to his Atlas review in the description box below. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and hop on in, start her up, and let her run. The Atlas is available with a Spark key entry system and push-button ignition. When equipped to start, all you have to do is just make sure you have the key fob within the interior, then put your foot on the brake and hit the console-mounted button to go. For the 2018 model year, Volkswagen is launching the Atlas, an all-new 3-row SUV that's designed to compete against the Ford Explorer, Honda Pilot, Toyota Highlander, and other similar-sized offerings. Built in Chattanooga, Tennessee, on top of Volkswagen's new Modular Transverse Matrix, or MQB platform, the Atlas is 190.3 inches long, 78.3 inches wide, and 69.6 inches high, putting it right in line with the rest of the competition. With an efficiently packaged 117.3-inch wheelbase, it offers one of the roomiest interiors in the segment with respect to both passenger and cargo space. I've talked about MQB in some prior VW reviews, most recently the Golf All-Track. In a nutshell, it dictates a fixed relationship between the front wheel centerline and pedal box. Everything else is variable, allowing for the development of a wider breadth of vehicles based around similar design principles. The Atlas uses stamped steel body and chassis components that boast a larger percentage of high-strength and hot-formed steel for greater strength and reduced weight. Speaking of, curb weight for V6 models range between 4,336 pounds and 4,502 pounds. Upcoming 4-cylinder models will weigh even less. The styling is an evolution of Volkswagen's Cross Blue concept that was first unveiled back in 2013. Similar to what Mazda did with the CX-9, Volkswagen took a slightly different approach that I think really differentiates the Atlas from the rest of the competition. It's nothing revolutionary per se, but the silhouette is notably more aggressive and masculine compared to what's typically seen in this segment. It reminds me of a larger Jeep Grand Cherokee, traditional in nature, especially when looking at it from the side. The front end is dominated by a broad chrome grille that seamlessly blends into a pair of full LED headlamps. Flared wheel arches joined by one-piece body creases add serious definition to the side profile. Overhead, a large panoramic sunroof is offered on SEL and SEL Premium models. It measures 4.46 feet by 2.85 feet and combines a 2-part glass opening system with a powered sunshade. Out back, you'll find a spoiler perched on top of the sloping rear window. LED taillamps are standard on the SEL Premium only. The lower fascia is finished with twin chrome exhaust garnishes. At launch, the Atlas will be available in 5 trim levels. The entry model Atlas S will begin at $30,500 before a destination and handling fee of $925. This is followed by the $33,590 SE, the $35,690 SE with technology, the $39,160 SEL, and the $48,490 SEL Premium. Volkswagen kept things simple by differentiating the trim levels with ascending grades of standard features, driver assistance tech, and other premium amenities. Aside from choosing which engine you want in the drivetrain configuration, there will be only 3 optional packages, including captain's chairs for all trim levels except for the entry model, a sporty R-Line appearance package for the SE and SEL, and black 20-inch wheels for the SEL and SEL Premium. The Atlas is scheduled to arrive in dealerships this May. The Atlas comes standard with 18 by 8 inch silver painted alloy wheels and 245/60 all-season tires. However, when adding the V6, you also gain the option of these 20 by 8 inch alloys, which are wrapped in 255/50 tires. Providing strong and sure-footed stopping power is a set of internally ventilated front discs measuring 13.2 by 1.2 inches and 12.2 by 0.9 inch solid rear discs. They're clamped down by twin piston and single piston calipers respectively. The Atlas is the only vehicle in its class to offer an automatic post-collision braking system. 4-channel ABS is also included along with electronic brake force distribution. The MQB platform is a unitary design featuring bolt-on front fenders and solid-mounted front and rear subframes. The suspension is fully independent and consists of McPherson struts in front, a multi-link design in the rear, and front and rear stabilizer bars. It rides 8 inches off the ground with approach, departure, and breakover angles of 20.4, 22.4, and 17.5 degrees respectively. The electric power-assisted, speed-proportional rack and pinion steering takes 2.76 turns to lock and has a ratio of 16.3 to 1. The turning circle is measured at 38 feet. The steering is light and places a priority on comfort and smooth operation. That being said, there's not much feedback, but the firmness is adjustable via the drive modes. When set to Sport, it tightens up to increase steering effort and overall feel. The Atlas is very well mannered out on the road. It's solid and composed over rough surfaces and always maintains excellent ride quality. Even through corners, it's able to handle itself surprisingly well. When opting for the V6, you gain the option of 4-motion all-wheel drive. Despite being a permanent system, during light loads, it's able to decouple the rear wheels to help conserve fuel. At a moment's notice, the rear wheels can be re-engaged in just fractions of a second. The distribution of torque is routed through 4-motion center differential, which is controlled by an electrohydraulic oil pump. Up to 50% of the available torque can be sent to the rear wheels at any given time. While the center differential acts longitudinally, front and rear electronic differential locks provide additional control laterally. As a function of the electronic stability control system, they're able to brake a spinning wheel in order to transfer torque to the wheel on the opposite side for greater traction. Adding 4-motion also gets you a rotary dial in the center console with a bunch of drive modes, including on-road, snow, off-road, and custom off-road. On-road is the default mode. When active, you can press the button in the middle of the rotary dial to toggle between normal, sport, eco, and individual subsettings. Within each, the tuning parameters for the engine control, gearbox, steering, and optional adaptive cruise control are varied. Snow and off-road mode work very similar to each other and tie in additional systems to ensure the Atlas maintains traction and control over unstable road surfaces and terrain. Custom off-road mode is similar to the individual on-road mode, but it's been further expanded to allow the driver to alter the steering, engine, gearbox behavior, as well as hill descent control and hill start assist. The Atlas will be offered with either a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder or our tester's 3.6-liter naturally aspirated V6. It's constructed using an iron block with aluminum cross-flow cylinder heads. The valve train consists of dual overhead cams, 4 valves per cylinder, and dual variable valve timing. Fuel is delivered via direct injection, accompanied by a compression ratio of 12 to 1. Maximum engine speed is approximately 6,500 RPM. With 276 horsepower at 6,200 RPM and 266 pound-feet of torque at 2,750 RPM, the Atlas performs as expected for this segment. It accelerates smoothly and even sounds pretty good while doing it. Out on the road, it remains relatively quiet. Everything is pretty well insulated and there's very little wind noise. The 4-cylinder is rated at 235 horsepower at 4,500 RPM and 258 pound-feet of torque at just 1,600 RPM. It'll be the standard offering but won't be available till later in the model year. Despite being down on power, the 4-cylinder should still deliver respectable performance, especially since it delivers its peak torque, which isn't that far off from the V6, at a much lower RPM. Regardless of which engine you choose, power is sent through an 8-speed automatic transmission, before being sent to either the front or all 4 wheels. If needed, you have the ability to manually select gears by the console shifter. Pulling the shifter backward while in drive toggles between normal and sport transmission programming. Sport raises the shift points and activates dynamic throttle blips on downshifts. It also makes the transmission more responsive when driving spiritedly. At the time of this video, all-wheel drive is an exclusive option for the V6. There's no word yet on whether it'll be offered for the 4-cylinder. Irrespective of the trim level, the Atlas can be equipped with either engine or drivetrain option, except for the SEL Premium, which is only offered with the V6 and all-wheel drive. With the latter, the Atlas is expected to be rated at 17 miles per gallon in the city and 23 miles per gallon on the highway, with a combined average of 19 miles per gallon. Front-wheel drive models should improve those numbers by 1 to 2 miles per gallon. Official EPA ratings will be available prior to the vehicle's market launch this spring. Fuel economy estimates for the 4-cylinder are not yet available due to its late availability. Both engines will feature auto start-stop technology. An 18.6-gallon fuel tank is standard across the board, and all engines take regular unleaded fuel. The interior of the Atlas is undoubtedly Volkswagen, featuring a clean and well-thought-out dashboard that places everything within easy reach. Build quality is quite good too, with padded material covering the necessary touchpoints and even a stitched dashboard. If you're familiar with VW's current lineup, the no-nonsense layout will be instantly familiar. The SEL and SEL Premium's front seats are powered, featuring memory presets and adjustable lumbar for the driver. They're a lot more comfortable than initially expected, providing excellent overall body support. Volkswagen claims that the seat position, shifter height, and the spacing between the pedals were fine-tuned for driver comfort. After an extended drive through the Texas countryside, I'd have to agree. On the entry model, cloth seats are standard. The rest of the lineup adopts leatherette except for the SEL Premium, which adds genuine leather. Heatable front seats are included on the SE and above, but only the SEL Premium gets ventilated front seats, heated rear seats, and even a heated steering wheel. As expected for such a large vehicle, storage space is abundant. Along with sizable door pockets and a pop-down cubby on the left-hand side of the dash, there's a cavernous center console and even a tray on top of the dash. Ahead of the gear selector is a storage tray that houses an auxiliary input, USB port, and a 12-volt power outlet. An additional USB port can be found in the center console. The glove box is locking, offers a good amount of space, and houses a CD player. Of course, the Atlas is available with an array of both passive and active safety systems. The amount of systems depend on which trim level you choose. Standard on every Atlas is a rear-view camera and 6 airbags, including dual-stage front airbags, front seat-mounted side airbags, and full-length curtain airbags. The amount of available driver assistance systems is pretty impressive too. Blind spot monitoring with rear cross traffic alert is added when stepping up to the SE. On the SE with technology and above, lane departure warning with lane assist is included, along with adaptive cruise control with stop and go, and forward collision warning with autonomous emergency braking and pedestrian monitoring. That's not all though. When selecting the SEL, you gain front and rear park distance control, but the SEL Premium takes that one step further by offering steering assist, which allows for semi-autonomous parking, parallel and perpendicular. The latter works in both forward and reverse. It's especially cool to see in person and works surprisingly well. The SEL Premium differentiates itself once more by including automatic high beam control and a 360-degree overhead view camera system. There's 3 audio systems and 3 touchscreen media options available, but our tester's 12-speaker 480-watt Fender system is by far the most intriguing as it was specifically developed for the Atlas. Also shown here is the range-topping Discover Media 8-inch touchscreen infotainment system with navigation. The screen is capacitive touch, just like a smartphone, and resides underneath a piece of glass with a satin finish. Along with HD and satellite radio, you'll find Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, MirrorLink, and so much more. My favorite piece of tech within the Atlas is the new Volkswagen Digital Cockpit. It's another exclusive feature to the SEL Premium. A 12.3-inch reconfigurable digital instrument cluster. And while it looks somewhat similar to the Audi Virtual Cockpit, this system was developed specifically by Volkswagen for this application.
Alright, let's go ahead and shut her down. Next, we'll hop in the back seat and check out overall space and amenities. Out back, the Atlas offers some of the most interior space that you're going to find in this segment, especially in the third row seat, and I'll hop back there in just a moment. You can seat up to 7 people with the full bench seat or 6 people with the optional captain's chairs. There's 3 adjustable headrests and a fold-down armrest with 2 cup holders. Now I'm 5'10", with an ideal seating position for myself in front. As you can see, I still have a ton of leg and headroom. But the cool thing about this middle row seat is that it's very flexible. So there's a grab bar at the bottom that allows you to slide the entire seat forward and backward about 7.7 inches. So if I slide it all the way back, you get almost limousine-like space. But one step further, if you grab the handle on the side of the seat, basically the same one that you would use to fold it flat, which I'll show you a little bit later in the video, you can also adjust it forward and backwards. So if you wanted to lean it all the way back, you can really kick back and relax on a long trip. It's quite nice. As in typical Volkswagen fashion, everything has a nice solid feel to it, from the way the doors close to the various controls. It's a pretty nice place to be. There's a lot of available features for the Atlas depending on which trim level you choose. This SEL Premium Tester comes standard with everything, including a tri-zone climate control system and heated rear seats. Other amenities back here include 2 USB ports down at the very bottom and a 115-volt AC household type outlet, so if you needed to plug in a laptop or something of that nature. You have grip handles, coat hooks, reading lamps, as well as sunshades to cover both of these rear windows. But you also have a ton of storage back here. There's 2 large pockets on the door panels and seat back pockets. So that's pretty much it for the middle row. Now let's hop in the third row. I'll show you how to slide this seat forward first. So basically there's a grab handle on the upper backrest. You pull the handle up, the entire seat assembly tilts forward, and then you just push it. But what's cool about the way it angles itself, you can do that while still being able to keep a car seat in there so you don't have to lug it out, and it adds a little bit of flexibility. So I guess all that's left to do is let's go ahead and hop back here. Volkswagen did a really good job with packaging the rear seat of the Atlas. It's one of the most impressive third row seats that I've sat in this segment, which definitely makes it a lot better when it comes to hauling taller people and adult friends, because again, I'm 5'10", and I left this middle row seat in the same position that I had it before, and I still have probably about an inch and a half worth of leg space and at least 2, maybe even 2.5 inches of head space. It's very spacious back here. Even if you're taller, with the flexibility of the middle row seat, you could be over 6 feet and still sit back here no problem. Plus, by sitting back here, you're not really sacrificing much in terms of comfort. Yes, it's a little bit tighter back here compared to the middle row, but that's to be expected. Now, you still have good padding in the seats, your knees don't feel like they're up in your chest, you still have good breathing room, you have adjustable air vents in the seat pillars, reading lamps up top, a lot of cup holders, and plenty of storage. Now, these headrests you're going to want to put up if you're sitting back here, otherwise they're going to ride in your back, but if no one's back here, you put them back down for better visibility. Alright, I guess the last thing to do is to head towards the rear and check out trunk space. Just flip up that little switch on the upper backrest again and slide the whole seat forward. It's very easy.
The Atlas is available with a full power liftgate with an easy access feature. So as long as you have the key fob in your pocket, you can actually walk up to the back, kick your foot underneath the rear bumper if you're holding a bunch of stuff, and it will open automatically. The Atlas is very flexible when it comes to cargo solutions. Underneath the trunk floor, at least in this case, you'll find the subwoofer for the Fender audio system, but to either side there's little storage cubbies. Behind the third row seat you have 20.6 cubic feet worth of cargo space, which is quite a lot for this segment. Behind the second row you have 55.5 cubic feet and a total of 96.8 cubic feet with everything folded down. Of course, you have plenty of cargo tie downs, there's plenty of illumination, and even a 12-volt power outlet.
Well everyone, I hope you enjoyed the in-depth look at the 2018 Volkswagen Atlas. Be sure to stay tuned next time, leave a like and subscribe today. There's always a lot more where that came from. Take care everyone.